Hello, everybody. I am your host, Shadowile, and welcome back to another episode of the Monsters of Etheria podcast. So, before we begin, I'll talk a little bit about some other things that I do have planned coming up in the next following weeks, I guess. For those that haven't watched the, I guess, real talk video, I will be looking for co-hosts. Well, I will be looking for a co-host as a special guest thing, so I will be having more people like talk on the podcast. I'm still figuring out how I want to do it. And I pretty much said in that video, if I didn't have someone else talk in episodes by the end of March, I will stop doing podcast episodes since I feel like you guys, yeah, I feel like I would have failed you guys, and that. Um, Along with news about that, starting next week, I will be including another segment to the Monsters of Theory podcast. This one will be talking about items and whether that's their usefulness or like where they derive from, things like that. It'll just be talking about items in general. So let's begin with the fan suggestions. The first monstrous line is by Hamilton. I wouldn't say Hamilton, but there's an I there, so Hamilton 098. I know it's not very often that I feature models themselves, but uh, I did like the looks of this like model. So the first form is called Elect Up, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, and it is a pure basic type. So, and weirdly enough, based off the description that I was provided, so you'll see in a bit. So Elect Up is an electric aardvark, and when it's in its current form, it is pretty much useless and is made an easy target, so it can't like produce much energy to like zap other predators. Um, so like it pretty much the only thing it can do is use its claws, but even then again, that's still not very effective. Um, unless it's actually able to get it reaches claws inside of the enemy, in which case it's able to make contact, dig its claws inside them, and then reach for the blood and paralyze the enemy. And then when it mutates into Shock, it becomes a pure electric type. And similar to regular anteaters and aardvarks and things like that, it's happy just eating life. It's happy living its life by just eating ants. So there is that, just living its good old life. Um, but if anything does try to threaten it, it will use its nose as a gun/cannon and use anything around it as ammo to shoot out. I don't know if it's a nose or a mouth. I think it's technically a mouth. So it'll use anything out of its mouth and it'll spit it as ammo. Even if it's like a living thing, you'll still use it as ammo and just spit it out towards the thing that's trying to, I guess, harass it. I don't know, target, harass, because things pretty much the same thing. Next monster by Allexiaah, and it is called Luxaplime. I'm butchering it like I usually. No, Luxiplume. My bad. Um, and its typing is light slash. Is it wind or flying? I think it's whatever we currently call wind. I mean, whatever we currently call flying in Monster of Etheria. Um, and so Luxaplume is a spin is a relative to what we would consider a phoenix, but it's the like holy version, I guess you could say, in which it gets its power from the sun. So not making it a fire type. No, it's a light type, and its power would be from the sun. And so in which case, it'd be able to shoot like a whole like it'd be able to shoot the true solar beam. Whereas it's not necessarily a beam from like solar energy, where it's just a beam of light, if that makes any sense. And if it's in the darkness and it hasn't, so let me finish this. Let me go back. So those little things on its tail, or I don't know if those would be considered feathers or not, is where it would store its energy. And if it has ran out of energy, then it's practically useless at night. But if it stores its energy and goes into a dark place, it is able to glow up using part of some of its energy, and it's even able to like make light cannons in dark places as long as it has some energy stored up. The amount of power it's able to put in depends on how much energy it has stored up. As you see, there is a little I want to say crystal on its head. So maybe that's another. I'm not entirely sure what that'd be based off of. Maybe if there are like other lines for it, then you might have something to do there. I do know that well, if you guys have seen Alex's work and Allexia's work and other podcast episodes, and there is like sort of a theme in which they all tend to be like elemental beasts. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna take. All right, moving on. Next monster line is by Alexis 575757. That's a lot of 57s, and it is called Nuclearodon. Nuclearodon. I don't know. And he is a metal poison type. And it would be a monster that would be based off that having multiple mutation lines. It would be a stable one and an unstable one. So what that means is the stable one would probably be like the defensive, like a defensive mode, and it's more of like protecting itself, protecting its core, not letting any like cracks into its, I guess, protection like body. And then it gets into its unstable mode once it has encountered enough, like taken enough damage, and it is now extremely fast and extremely hard hitting, but it pretty much lost all its defense, and once it enters its unstable form, any attack it lands on an opponent will automatically cause them to be poisoned, because nuclear radiation is a thing. You're not just going to be like hit with some nuclear radiation and just walk it off, are you? No, you're not, okay? But yeah, there's Nucleodon. I guess that's the name I'm wanting to go with it. These next monsters are by ZorminyBonBon. So this one in particular, I'm not gonna count against ZorminyBonBon because I've been wanting to cover this for quite some time. It is called Capillow, and as you're seeing on your screen now, it is the strongest Boio ever made. What am I talking about? Look at those stats. Those stats are hot damn real good. Okay? You mess with this Boio, he's going to rough you up. He doesn't need any of these other types. He's strong enough with a basic type. They try to nerf him. He ain't got time for that. You try to make his stats bad. He don't need that. He's better than that. He doesn't need stats to be good. Like look at these moves. He learned Splash. He learned Tail Whip, Hidden Power, Heal Bell. Can't read that fourth one. Well, fifth, Screech. And then, look at that. What other monster has the opportunity to learn any move depending on a pair different day? Like, if you plan this out properly, he could be the most OP monster of them all. It doesn't matter who you are. Oh, you got your elusive monster over there, get wrecked. Oh, you're an Etherian, get wrecked. Oh, you're a stat buffing, I don't know, random monster, get wrecked. Capillow is the should be the mascot of MOE. You're gonna people be like, yeah, but it's Cryo Ball. I'm like, all right, cool, but like Capillow's 20 times better. Look at him. He got that little swag eyebrows. He got the dirt mouth. He got a tail, which I thought was a leg at one point. I'm not gonna lie, just thought it was a leg. But Capillow, he's rocking it. You gotta respect him. All right, Capillow is the GOAT. He is what every monster hopes to become. Just because Monsters of Etheria's base stat system is weird, and if you compare it to Pokemon's base stat thing, our strongest monster is like mid tier over there. I don't remember. Our stat system is a little weird. All right. So now we're gonna move into the monsters that Zorminy actually wanted me to talk about. He has made this like race called the how do you pronounce this? Already race, and it is based off a monster that I am not covering in this video. I'll cover it in the next video if I remember. And so this already race, which apparently like would be, I guess, would be a cool, like a new type of species in Monsters of Etheria. So we're going to talk about the sub races, well, the sub forms in this race. The first one is called Aurelian, and the codename given to it is Aretian Key. And they are aliens that are intelligent and great servants to Areti. Again, the monsters you'll see in the next video. They have neon pink feathers at the tip. They have a neon pink feather at the tip of their tail, and they're able to create tools like magic. Like some tools would be like cannons and ships for colonizing areas, things like that. Real juicy. Let me finish. So that I don't know if I'd call that tail neon pink. It looks more of like a burgundy. I don't know. The next monsters are called. Well, the next monster is called a reptile, and the code name is Areti Predator. Using Areti's command, they hunt in a pack of 4 to 8. With their built-up legs and intelligence, they can climb on almost any surface. And they also contain sharp fangs that expose around the eye like a worm. My guess would be like, if you are fast enough, the eye would be a weak point. So if you're able to quickly strike the eye before the teeth close, then you're probably gonna be able to do some big boy damage. But I feel like since it's just closing your mouth, it'd be able to close it real fast, and you pretty much do like no damage. Alright, next monster is called Airvern, and the code name is Aritan Airborne. And they are always on guard of newly colonized areas by the already race, flying in the sky as they are rarely seen on the ground. Meaning, the reason why you don't see them is because these already race colonies are already so like well guarded that the freaking Airverns don't need protected. Or if they do spot you and you are trying to like mess up some stuff, boom, you're done like that. These guys, I'm assuming, would be like speed boys. Speed of 80. I feel like this should be a little higher. I feel like energy should be low, like a little bit lower, and speed should be like 100, so that it strikes and it's gone. It's out of there. All right. That is the sub races for the Areti, like what's it called? Sub races for the Areti line. All right. Next set of monsters are by GhostThatHaunts. The first monster line is called. Well, the first monster in the monster line is called Kreiskull. Crisco. And Crisco is a water poison, and it is based off real life jellyfish. Um, so I'm gonna expand on this a little bit. So it is based off real life jellyfish, but what happened was, uh, when what do jellyfish live? What's that thing they live in? I don't even remember what the thing they live in is called. But when one of these Christ skulls were floating, well, swimming downwards, a skull from, I don't know, like a war raid ship or something, fell down, and it entered inside of the jellyfish. Um, Eventually, the jellyfish took on the skull and has used it for its own eyes, and it's then used as a sense of sphere. Um, so while it's in this Christ skull form, it's not as strong as it could be, but it's able to release a sense of poison into the water that would enter your body and your systems like that, and it creates a sense of like paranoia or fear for the monster. Uh, and it causes you pretty much to like run the hell away because you don't want to freaking die, even though it's not that powerful. And then it mutates into Siphonatum, pronouncing that right, and that is a water ghost. So its tentacles have grown massively longer, and it no longer has to rely on the spookiness poison that Kreiskull had, but since it's now able to defend itself, and these ones hide in the dark, and you'll be sitting there in the dark, and then its like eyes just glow up, and next thing you know, it's dashing towards you at like breakneck speed with its really high special attack and really high speed. All right, the next monster is called Stargalva, and it is a cosmic electric type. Um, Stargalva is a quote unquote legendary star dot, but don't underestimate it because it's just a star. Because it's not just a star, it's more than that. It has pretty much real fast speed, you know. How many of you guys can move in space on your own? Not many. That's why I thought this boyo can fly faster than comets, and it's not just a speedster. It also has the ability. It has real strength in its shocking zapping powers. If there's a starry night, it is able to harness the power of the stars and pretty much triple its special attack. Okay, and the idea for purpose of this monster would be interpreted as like a fourth monster or a fourth legend, and the catch would be it only spawns during the night. So you better hope during that, I think it's like 20 or 30 minute time period in between each monster spawning, that it's nighttime. And if it's not, you have no chance of this monster spawning. And it's not a guarantee that this monster will spawn during the night either. So you might be far on a server for hella long before you can actually get this guy to spawn. But yeah, it's real nice, real nice. The next monster is called the next set of monsters is called, the first form is called Specors, and it is a ghost metal type. No, yeah, it's a ghost metal type, and it's based off a creepy doll, like similar to like a marionette, where I guess the scissor would be the handle, and Specors has half a scissor sticking out of his hair. So I guess it has a scissor sticking out of its hair. And so it's able to hide. Well, I think this should be like this. It's able to hide its scissors into its hair So it's like, oh yeah, you got a cute little doll here. Let me pick it up. And you pick it up, and boom, now your hand's bleeding because he just cut you. It got real. Yeah. I think I like that. But yeah, it just cut the hell out of you. And then when it mutates into Sissel, it has 2 sets of scissors. And it is able to combine the hair together to make pretty much a pair of shears. And it would have extremely high attack, around 200 plus of a stat wise. And oh man, so its ability would either, so it could have 2 abilities. The first ability could be hover. Second ability be able to do double damage with slash type attacks. Slash cutting type attacks. All right. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Those are all the monsters we have for this fan suggestion part. Next up, we will be moving to Ignatitan. It is currently the only Titan category monster that we have in Monsters of Etheria. I don't know when we're getting another one. I know Poe said something about like the order of when Titans will come out, but I forgot what it was. But being the only Titan makes you wonder, what are the Titans based off of? You could say, hey, this is like based off a golem-like monster, big, bulky, a powerhouse, a tank, whatever. One thing that caught my attention the most was it has a belt. If you look at the waist of Ignatitan, it has a belt. Why does it have a belt? Could it be that this is just a suit, and inside there is a small monster or a small Etherian that is just trying to survive? Possibly. Could it just be a belt for decoration that it just found? Could be. I don't know. But it just makes you wonder, why is there a belt? This is like a blocky-ish, not blocky, but like a, I don't want to say basic because it's not basic, but Ignatitan doesn't seem like he'd be like a full like intelligent being. So if you saw Ignatitan in real life, he'd be like your friendly giant that it doesn't want to be real strong and mean to everybody, but it just so happens to be that strong and powerful. And it's like, dude, I know you didn't really mean to destroy my house, but you just destroyed my house and I need to live there. So, I'd appreciate if you don't do that. So yeah, that wraps up this episode of the Monster of Theory podcast. Next week, I'll start doing the item talk, I guess. We might have a special guest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to start. I want to give it a tryout this month, and then do it consecutively in March and there on out. So we might start the test run of a special guest next week. But yeah. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Ciao.